Ladies and gentlemen, Reggie Wright Jr. had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Keefe D not making bail in the murder trial involving the death of Tupac Shakur. They're starting to lie again. Let's get into some of this straight game, y'all.
Blackjack. Life is like those cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening? It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on the thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm gonna get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been some recent clout chasing, if you will, involving the denial of bail for Keefe D in Las Vegas a few days ago. And once again, the person responsible for this clout chasing and these blatant outright lies and trying to associate themselves with the trial of Tupac Shakur or anything to do with Tupac Shakur is none other than the person who is actually partially responsible for Tupac's death in Reggie Wright Jr. Like I told you guys before, Tupac had fired Reggie Wright Jr. on August 27th, 1996. And there shortly after in Las Vegas, on the night that Tupac was shot, Reggie Wright Jr., who was the head of security, then in turn still working for security and supposed had an obligation to do his job in working for security for Death Row and protecting Tupac, let me be clear, but was fired as Tupac's personal security. So when in Las Vegas, Suge Knight asked Reggie Wright Jr. to send 5 more security guards on that fatal night in Las Vegas, Reggie Wright Jr. refused to do so. Basically sabotaging, and in fact sabotaging the security of Tupac Shakur, and also allowing his boss at that particular time, Suge Knight, to be shot as well, or hit by bullet fragments, if you will. But the most disrespectful part has come recently in when Keefe D went up for bail. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. And like I said, 1 minute Reggie was congratulating Whack 100, and then now all of a sudden he's the person responsible for why Keefe D did not receive bail, and saying that, oh, you thought that I would let Whack 100 bail Keefe D out, as if he was responsible for that. But let's get into these facts. We know that to be an outright lie, as Reggie Wright Jr. has told many lies that I've basically done videos on my channel. But this one right here is just, this is the clout chase of the year, if you will. If y'all want to give an award for the clout chase of the year, this is the clout chase of the year award, if you will. And let me get into the facts. The fact of the matter is, Reggie Wright Jr. failed Tupac. He sabotaged the security and allowing Tupac to get shot that night. He lied about the fact that there was a got him heard right after Tupac got shot over his radio, according to one of his security guards, may he rest in peace, Michael Moore, in which Reggie Wright Jr. has just come out and recently admitted. Reggie Wright Jr. also lied and said that he spoke with Suge Knight shortly after the situation at the hospital, as he said, and he lied about, and Suge Knight confirmed that it was a lie. Reggie said that he went to Suge Knight's room and Suge told him immediately after being shot who was responsible for the shooting, which was a lie, and Suge Knight said that was a lie, and then Reggie Wright Jr. had to come back out and basically admit that that was a lie. And then going into some other personal business of Suge Knight's that we really could care less about. But there's been so many lies. But like I said, once again, Tupac's security was sabotaged by Reggie Wright Jr. He also lied about being fired until Yaki Gaddafi, may he rest in peace, his dear mom, Yasmin Fula, actually put out the actual facts proving that he lied about being fired and said that he didn't know anything about it. And then proving that he knew about it and saying later on, if he had known that he was fired, he would have been like, fuck that nigga, meaning Tupac. As if he didn't know, but he did know. So now we understand what he meant when he said, fuck that nigga. He really meant fuck Tupac. He didn't give a damn about Tupac, you know, after being fired for basically being a chatty patty and telling Tupac's business, going back and finding out Tupac's business through his security guards, and then running back and telling Suge about that. Like I said, Suge also said that Tupac did not deal with Reggie Wright Jr. And Reggie was only security. He also lied about running Death Row, in which Suge Knight just came out recently and confirmed that he left Michelle A. in charge of Death Row while he was incarcerated back during that time in 1996 and after the situation in Las Vegas. But let me get into this. So recently, Reggie Wright Jr. and Lies First, the other channel across the way, they like to call themselves Bomb First, in which they stole the name to their YouTube channel from Tupac's first song off of the Machiavelli album. That just to go to show you the level of theft and lies that they're willing to spew out. But let me get into these facts. So 1 minute, Reggie Wright Jr. was pretending, you know, whatever side he can be on. I told y'all, whatever side he can slide on, he gonna slide on that side. You know, when Wack 100 said, yeah, hey, you know, I'm, you know, thinking about bailing out Keefe and, you know, Reggie, you know, 1 minute he's congratulating Wack. Now that Keefe didn't make bail, now he's claiming to be the one as to the reason why Keefe didn't make bail. Let me show you why that's a lie with these actual facts. And the fact of the matter is the reason that Keefe did not make bail had nothing to do, absolutely positively, the furthest thing to do with an individual named Reggie Wright Jr. And the fact of the matter is, the reason why he didn't make bail is, number one, that a person who is facing a murder charge cannot profit off of the decedent, and that is NRS Rule 41B.200. That is a statute in Las Vegas, also as well as in New York, called the Son of Sam Law, but in Las Vegas they call it the NRS 41B.200. Right? These are the facts. This is the reason why Keefe didn't make bail from that perspective. And what the judge had found out, basically through conversations on the internet, that Cash Jones, better known as Wack 100, had saying basically, you know, he had planned to do, you know, try to do a series or some kind of a movie in regards to dealing with Keefe D. And they played that in court, as we all know, and basically this is where NRS 41B.200 comes into effect. And the bail was connected to what they found out to be that situation and Keefe D being bailed out, as well as a phone conversation in which Keefe D had with his wife, talking about Cash Jones was just a middleman from that perspective, and so on and so forth. And the money was actually put up by someone else from that perspective. So now, that's reason number one. You see nothing in this here about Reggie Wright Jr. Nothing, absolutely positively nothing. And this also was discussed in the first meeting that they had involving when Keefe D actually applied for bail. The prosecution at that time tried to deny him bail, but at that time he had public defenders, and they argued, and the judge seen it so that Keefe D could get bail at the tune of $750,000, and what he would be on ankle monitoring and basically home confinement at that particular time. So now here comes the bail. Wack 100, who we found out came up, basically went in front of the court through Zoom, and tried his best hand at going at it. And then the judge took the case under review as to find out where the funds actually came from that were being put up, right? And this is what the judge came to the conclusion. After taking the case under review, the judge then came back and issued a written order. And the written order basically said this. The court notes that these records do not show the actual source of many of the larger deposits to these accounts, meaning the accounts that WAC 100 had, Cash Jones, aka WAC 100, had submitted to the court. So he did his due diligence, but from what the court had found out, the court notes that these records do not show the actual source of many of the larger deposits to these accounts, only that they were made via wire transfer. The wire transfers have names attached, but the court was not provided with any additional documentation as to where these wire transfers came from. There are at least 2 unexplained counter deposits in the amounts of $50,000 each. So, based on that information, the judge decided on her own whim. Basically, she came down with the ruling. The ruling added that the month before the bail premium was paid, the balance in the account was insufficient, right? So she's basically saying that the month before the bail premium was paid, in those accounts that the records show, that the balance in the account was insufficient to have that amount of money in. So that money was just wired in prior to going to try to post the bail for Keefe D, right? It was insufficient to cover the payment. It added that it coupled that uncertainty with statements that Davis made to his wife earlier this month, which they had the phone conversation, which they found that Keefe D had lied to his wife, right? Davis made to his wife earlier this month, indicating that Jones did not have the capital to pay the bond premium, adding that Jones was a front or a middleman for the true poster of the bond. Now, basically, they recorded the conversation, jailhouse visit between Keefe D and his wife. And in that visit, they played it in court. I don't know why Keefe D felt like he could talk to his wife about anything like that if it was under what we come to understand now, right? Basically admitting that Cash Jones was a middleman. Now saying that WAC 100 was a middleman, right? Excuse me. And so with that being said, understanding that, they played that in court. So basically they're saying, the judge was saying, based on the conversation that Keefe D had with his wife, he let the cat out the bag, right? That the money really didn't come from Cash Jones, if you will, right? And then she came to the conclusion, basically saying, under these circumstances, the court cannot say that Mr. Davis has shown the funds were legally obtained. It wasn't about WAC 100 having to show that the funds was legal or illegal, anything like that. It was up to Keefe D and his lawyer. So you got to take WAC out of that situation when you're dealing with the facts involving the situation. Anybody could put up anybody's bail, right? But because of the high profile nature of this case, right, there were to be a source hearing in which this was, and finding out where the money came from. And the judge decided, after everything and taking everything into the account, looking at the 6 months of bank records, listening to all of the statements that was made in court, the videos and the Vlad video and everything that was played in court, right? She said, under the circumstances, the court cannot say that Mr. Davis has shown the funds were legally obtained, Kearney stated. The court then demanded a source hearing to ensure that the bond premium was not paid out of profits from Davis discussing the killing of Shakur, right? The bond was vacated. The bail posted was returned to WAC 100. Period. It could not be paid. There is nothing in there about Reggie Wright Jr. Nothing at all. So once again, the person who actually failed 2Pac, admitted to failing 2Pac, sabotaged his security, lied after the fact, then went and then tried to testify in front of the grand jury in which he admitted the truth after telling a lie for the last 27 years that the Nextel radios that Michael Moore said that he heard got him on. Reggie Wright Jr. had said that the Nextel radios did not have a two-way walkie-talkie feature. In the grand jury, before Keefe D was arrested, Reggie Wright Jr. actually admitted to the grand jury that the Nextel phones did have a walkie-talkie feature. Reggie Wright Jr. credibility is zero, and it has taken 2 more zeros behind this latest lie. He had nothing to do with any of these court proceedings, any of the judge's decisions. This was strictly made based on evidence and the law and the lack thereof. So I just wanted to bring you guys this. Like I said, once again, your boy DELRAY, straight gang.